Hello, welcome to my social suicide. Why am I doing things this way? Uh, first things first. The reason why I named this "The Safety Is Off" is because a lot of things. I mean, there's so much going through my head. I had to do something like this to get it out there. I normally do videos through my webcam. I do like 30 or 40 takes to get one right. At least I hope it's right. Then I put it out there. This way, it raises my game and forces me to try to be better at what I'm doing. Also, this is about depression. And if a silly son of a bitch like me can do something like this without freezing in front of the camera, I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. But to the people out there who are so beaten down by life, so timid that they would never do something like this in a million years, why not? I mean, seriously, what's the worst going to happen to me? Somebody somewhere around the world's going to have a negative opinion? Oh no. I don't really care. This video is not going to be for 99% of the people who watch it. They might have a positive opinion, they might have a negative opinion. This video is for the one person who fucking needs it. If I could say something that would connect with them, that would make them understand that no matter how hard life is, it's still worth living. You can aspire to something better. There's 800,000 people disappear each year. On average, 91,000 a month. I I ask, anybody notice when they were there or they disappeared? There's this, to this day, I can't remember his fucking name. This guy I used to work with over at the Majestic Hotel. He was always on the fringe. He had trouble interacting. He was kind of awkward. I was never mean to him. I never went out of my way to be one way or the other to him. He was just there. I had my own issues. I was drowning in a pit of despair myself. I wasn't even moved when I found out that he committed suicide. I don't feel guilt about it. I mean, he had his issues. I have mine. I feel regret I didn't even try to make a human contact with this guy. I regret I can't even remember his name. That potential a human being has is limitless. Hell, years ago, I remember this little old lady who was doing wash, managed, did laundry for people, managed to give an endowment to a college for $500,000. I can't even get my damn scooter fixed. And a little old lady manages to save that much money. I think society does people a disservice by building up the individual to the point where you're not cool, you're not acceptable if you don't have X, Y, or Z. If you're not into the stylish thing. Now, one of my earliest memories of my childhood, my time in high school, motherfuckers are being killed because of Air Jordan sneakers. What the fuck? People dying because of shoes made in a sweatshop in Vietnam. We have to stop worrying about what other people think and start being concerned with ourselves. That's what I desperately need. I need that narcissism. I need narcissism. I need to be self-absorbed for at least 130 pounds. I need to stop carrying. I mean, I've gone some length, some distance, and even I find myself being paralyzed sometimes and doing shit. Why do we bother? I mean, this is this is the only thing we have. This is the only life we have. Why are people so concerned with what society thinks to the point where they marginalize themselves? They put them on. They become these little hermits that hope that nobody ever sees. To the point where they never really live to begin with. Be defiant. If you have an opinion, even if it's what 99% of the people of the world think is stupid, share it. Speak up. Speak out. Find that courage to truly fucking live. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. If I wanted to, I don't know if I could even get the links out. But I'm going to try next time. Because of fact, things that happen to me, and don't worry, I'm not going to share my sad tale of woe. I'm tired of it. I don't think I'm going to, not rude enough to inflict that on others. I let myself become a hermit. I let myself drown in despair. I let myself die. I'm still alive, but I don't really live. This is me coming out of that right now. I'm emotional, and that's all right. You have to be daring enough to talk to people, to be interesting, to at least try. I was inspired to do this by watching Deconverted Man's video on suicide. Like I said before, 99% of people won't be concerned or barely interested in this. There's that one person out there who's suffering, who maybe I can reach. Oh, I'm babbling. And that's okay. I don't. Dumbest thing anyone's ever done is just gone out in front of a camera and spew something that's a one size. They think it's a one size fit all band aid for X, Y, or Z. I mean, what I say is going to be not going to pertain to a lot of people. might not pertain to anyone. I'm excused for failing. Failure is always an option. Failure is how we learn sometimes. I'm not excused for not trying. People are so paralyzed by fear of what other people think. They just retreat from humanity. I'm not saying everyone has to be like Dr. Phil, who would want to be, but looking back at my coworker, had I tried, had I took 1 second away out of my own self-pity and tried to talk to him, maybe he'd be alive today. That's my failure as a human being. We all have our burdens. But we shouldn't let that, it's not an excuse to shun people, to distance yourself. I mean, I'm not, there is some people out there that are so lonely, so socially awkward, it's painful to be around them. But is that the worst thing you got going on in your life? Really? You can't listen to somebody ramble? Maybe if you make them at ease, they could talk about something more interesting. No, socially awkward people out there, I don't think they get enough encouragement. Like I work with a guy named Harold. Harold is a nice guy, but as a Southern gentleman, he knows the ability to talk and talk and talk and talk. He can be such, I mean, I don't really need to know the street layout of Chicago in 1973. I don't need to know the where a grocery store was 30 years ago. But it doesn't kill me to be patient and listen to him. He's an old man. He's probably lonely as fuck. This doesn't make me a saint. It just makes me human. And sometimes I have fun with him. It's a little annoying sometimes when my ankle's bothering me and there's not a chair to sit down around. But all in all, it's worth troubling myself. It's worth investing myself into the conversation. And I actually learn stuff sometimes. Mind you, there's a huge difference between Harold and somebody who wants to tell you about the Klingon language. Choose your battles. Oh. Well, I want to do a reading. I have the time. Mark Twain, On the Damned Human Race, one of the finest books I've ever read. It's a collection of his newspaper articles. Let's see. On the damned human race, to the person sitting in the darkness. I've always preached that if the humor came of its own accord and uninvited, I have allowed its place amongst in my sermons, but I will not write the sermon for the sake of the humor. Mark Twain's autobiography. To the person sitting in the darkness, Mark Twain's masterpiece of preaching is also still most timely with short satires, strangely, perhaps for its certainty not written with an eye towards prosperity, and many for the events of which it inspired half forgotten. In fact, probably few periods of our history at present so unfamiliar in the literature reader. Turn of the century wars, 10 weeks of war with Spain, for example, is widely remembered now for the fact that Yellow Pages, Yellow Press, Hearst, Pulitzer supported it, of course, for the sinking of the Maine in Havana's harbor. Let's skip ahead. Mark Twain. I bring you the stately nation named Christendom, returned, bedraggled, besmirched, dishonored from pirate raids of Kocho, Manchuria, South Africa, Philippines. Their soul full of meanness, her pocket full of booty, her mouth full of hypocrisies. Give her soap and towel, but hide the looking glass. It's stuff like this that makes life bearable for me sometimes. We need an outlet. We need stuff that speaks to the soul. Humor is a great tool too. If I knew how to leave links, I'd leave one to Patton Oswalt, Robert Evans. Oh, that is hilarious. That is just insanely funny. That's one of the things that makes life bearable for me. People in my life, my art, not that I create, no. Things that spark that creative part of your soul, your mind, your soul, whatever you want to call it. Music. I once did a video challenging Christians to listen to some great music, to sing along, and ask themselves, is this the same way I feel when I pray? I don't know who this video is going to help. I don't know what thing I say that will help spark that part of them that needs to be alive, that needs to at least start them on the path getting out of depression. I'm just happy I'm at least trying to do that. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Wow. I'm glad I only set this for a half hour. Goofy dog. Everyone, I've said this in countless videos before, everyone makes a contribution. Even the smallest act can make a change in someone's life. I remember one time, I mean, even if that small change just get them through the day, that was a wonderful thing to do. Remember one time I was really pissed off. I just, down here in the South, they have no concept of what to do with snow. The town was closed off for like a couple of days. I'm running out of food. Finally, the roads finally get good enough for the cabbies to be brave enough to go on them. I have just enough money to get to the Walmart. All I have is my payroll check. Everything, damn near everything in Walmart sold out. I'm talking bare bones. I grab what I can. I go up to this lady who looked like she just got road drugged. She was stuck there for a day. She was exhausted. And she looked terrified when I pulled out my payroll check. I don't know what the rationale, the explanation is. Somehow they were short on money. I would think that a store that sold out of damn near everything would have an abundance, but what the fuck? And it's with fear and trepidation. See, I'm 6 foot, over 300 pounds. When I look angry, I do, as Shakespeare has said, lend the eye a terrible aspect. And she's a little old lady. With fear and trepidation, she goes, sir, you can't cash that. I wanted to scream. I said, like I said, I'm running out of food. Weather sucks. I can't get home unless I have calf hair. I sucked it up. I looked at her and said, could you at least let me buy the food, give me $20, and put the rest in a card? And you would have thought I reunited her with her long lost kid. I mean, the look on her face was like, you're not going to rip my arms off and scream at me? I made her day. I did not give in to the anger I was already feeling. I am a rageaholic. I sucked it up and I made her day. Maybe, just maybe, you can make somebody's day. And they won't end up disappearing like so many do. Sorry if that's pressure. That's part of life. We want and expect things in today's society to be so easy. I think that's kind of backfired on us because we whine like little children when we don't get what we want. That immediate gratification has spoiled the entire society. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to live in any other time. But personal growth doesn't happen until we realize that we have to wait sometimes. Not everything is owed to us. You know how hard that was for me? I'm a rageaholic. First time I've ever grown as a human being is when I realized I'm not the center of the universe. Not everyone is stupid. Maybe sometimes it's me. I've been growing ever since. Well, it looks like I'm about up on time. Sorry if I rambled. Like I said, if a silly bastard like me can do this, why not you? You can only do better. And Everyone who thinks it's impossible, why? I'm not the most educated thing on the planet. I'm brave enough and smart enough to realize I'm not the most educated thing on the planet. I'm sure you could probably do better. You might be sitting on some observation, some point that could change everything. Be brave. Find your voice. Goodbye.